Hello, I am Chandra, and this is my advisory program idea that I came up with. My topic is student leadership. Um, Student leadership, I think, would be an important skill to teach your kids. The reasons are on the left. I think that student helps bring confidence in themselves and lets them believe in their own decisions that they make. They learn from their successes and their failures, and they know that they too can be a leader. They too can getting these roles they often see other kids do. It's a great confidence boost. It also increases their communication skills. They make more friends. They become responsible. They handle others. They can handle others on the positions that are below them. Like they learn how to delegate and to do it in a way that others will respond and respect, and not in like a bossy, mean way. It helps their planning skills. They know how to orchestrate a higher level, and that's delegating falls in there too. That will help them when it comes to planning their time management, going about like maybe group projects and later life things. It's really good to know, and they know their own limits. They know what they can handle and where they need help. They'll learn their strengths and their weaknesses. It also gives them some motivational skills, help them how to learn and encourage others, how to inspire others, which is kind of cool. I chose this because also from my sources that actually kind of talked on it as well, about student government or anything that's like student council and stuff like that. Eventually it just becomes a popularity contest. Kids do it because it looks good on their college applications, but they really don't care about it. They just run for it. They get voted in, and then they just don't participate. Some of the kids that do, they can participate, but it's more popularity. Like it doesn't offer an opportunity for all the kids to pick up these items. It doesn't give them a sense of like understanding of what leadership is. They just think, well, they ran for it, they're not going to get it because they're not cool enough, they're not even going to try. And it's just something that, I don't know, I think just feels overlooked. Some of the best memories I actually had in different like advisory programs and stuff, I actually went to a leadership camp for FFA, and it was probably one of the funnest and best things I ever did, and I learned and took a lot from it. And I don't know, I think it's just cool to offer the opportunity to all students, and it's great for their social emotional growth and giving them a chance to work together. This is actually one from my other source called Importance of Developing Leadership Skills. That's on there. Other important information that I want to say about it before I get into this program is how I got the idea. I was just searching through the AMLE website, and under the topics, there's a topic on leadership, and I thought, oh, how cool. I really like leadership, so let me do leadership. So that's what I did. There's a quote, I actually put it on here from it's from the CAS standards that I have. It says, virtually every student engages in some type of activity that involves a practice of leadership. So no matter where you're at in your education or where you're at in life, there's going to be something that you're doing that's going to involve some skill that you're going to get out of being like an effective leader. It will just help you in life and in your class. Like this, I feel like this program would actually translate into other things. When creating my lesson for my program, I use an article from Edtopia that I got. It's called The 7 Characteristics of a Good Leader. So 7 out of the 10 lessons that I'm doing is each lesson is based on one of the 7 characteristics that's important to be a good leader. So how is my program relevant to adolescents? Developing adolescents often questions themselves, the relationship with others, and their just general place in the universe. I feel like that the leadership skills answer these questions by providing opportunities to explore their strengths and their weaknesses. They create new relationships and bonds by being put into positions they normally have yet to be in, or they normally wouldn't put themselves in. They learn to grow an appreciation for those who have these roles in their life. They gives them a sense of purpose and understanding of their own identity and where they can fit in. So they learn a lot about themselves. They learn a lot about relationships with others, form new ones, form different kinds of bonds they never had before. It helps their relationships with their teachers and other people that are in the roles of leaders in their life, because they understand like where they're coming from, and like they kind of understand the struggle a little bit. They can put themselves in other shoes. It helps them by exploring their own strengths and weaknesses. I think that helps them understand their place in the universe, and that things are possible for them that they might have not thought was possible before. According to the AMLE site that I used, it actually says that it prepares them for success as adults and teaches skills that can translate into the classroom. So that just kind of reiterates what I was talking about and how it's relevant to their adolescence, because a developing adolescent is developing these questions in the sense of self-identity, and I think that the leadership skills will help them along in that aspect. All right, so the overview of my program. I picked The time, I just chose Mondays and Wednesdays. This is something that happened to me when I was in junior high. We had an advisory group meeting and we met, actually ours was Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. And like we had 10 hours through the day. The first and the last hours were our study hall hours. So I just kind of use that model when I'm creating this. During their last hour study hall, all the students will be randomly assigned, like to the different study hall teachers that would normally teach study hall in the last hour. You'd have students that are assigned randomly to these different teachers, and then they will get a notice of who their teacher is and and where their meeting place is. So with me, my teacher was actually the boys' gym teacher. So we met in the gym, and we did it during the time that we had like skates in the gym. So a lot of our activities stuff were really cool because we had like the entire gym to ourselves. And he was actually a really cool guy, and I got to know him, and he was a great advisor. And I would never have talked to him if it wasn't for that program. So I kind of base it off that. So I feel like they can get assigned to a random teacher in a random place that they meet, and the kids get this information before. There are 10 lessons. There's going to be one lesson per week. So the way I seen it was Mondays they're going to have like a game or like a skill theme or something that they're actually going to be doing with each other and working together that like will make them use the skill that's being taught. And then on Wednesday they'll actually talk about the skills that they needed, and they'll talk about how this can translate into their lives and how this will translate to the classroom and how they can use it and what's important about it. And if there's time, they could probably play the game again because the kids seem to enjoy the different types of icebreakers and stuff. There's also room to improvise. You can add any content to this. You can stretch it out, shorten it up. It's just whatever you feel is more important of what you're trying to teach your kids about leadership. So I just did some short implementation steps. So like step 1, I thought like a cool way to kick it off would be like try and get like a school assembly going in the morning, like before school starts or like during first hour. Have all the teachers get together. They can have the teachers that are participating in it give like maybe a short skit and have them act like students in a classroom, and then how leadership's important to pull everybody together. I think that having them try to be funny, and like kids just like to see teachers be a little bit goofy, and having the teachers pretend to be the students themselves in the skit, I think will really pull them in and engage them, and then give a short synopsis about how leadership would help in this situation, and then kind of bring it in and then explain to them that we're going to start this new challenging program for the kids to participate in, and it's going to be great, it's going to be fun. I think that'd be good. Step 2, I put that you can send a notice home to parents with a permission slip if you're plan on doing anything more extensive as far as some of these whatever. If you're planning on covering a little bit more heavy subject, just make sure just basically notify the parents, let them know what's going on. So the kids come say that they played these games, like they know that it's for a reason. And step 3, I put on Mondays and Wednesdays, each student will report to their assigned teacher and designated meeting place during their last hour. The teachers will have lessons at least a week in advance so they can prepare for them, change them, or make them meet their needs. Maybe a problem will arise in like last Wednesday's discussion, so maybe they'll think they should just, cover a little bit more in the next week. It's a little bit more of a fluid program. So my 10 lessons go as this. The first lesson is an icebreaker lesson. Let the kids get to know each other, become more comfortable. And then once they become more comfortable, you can start breaking them up into groups or teams if you have like a larger group. So say you have 10 kids, break them up into 2 teams of 5. Try to keep them around 5 or 6 because I think like smaller teams are better. But before you break them up into teams, do the icebreakers. Let them get comfortable with each other. Let them know it's okay to take risks and let them just get a good sense of a safe environment with each other, and they'll more likely participate that way. And when you are breaking up into teams, remember to do it randomly or by a system. Don't let friends be with friends because it kind of defeats the purpose of trying to make them intermingle with each other. 2, it'd be kind of like it's an overview day lesson. So what leadership can do for you, kind of cover like the different ideas, have the kids talk about it, maybe do a KWL for it. It's just basically the second week is just explaining the program and like what leadership and how, and explaining what it can do for you. And you actually can review this on the last set of days. So 3, the lesson is going to be over a sense of purpose, which this teaches how the team's organization values and goals should be clear and should be upheld. So the first day you do a activity that's based on purpose, which will be provided for the teachers. And on Wednesday, you will discuss how sense of purpose, setting goals and values can be upheld and how it's important to be successful in life, not just in like these fun games that they're playing. All right, week 4, the theme is justice, about how rules and procedures should be clear and everyone equally accountable and consistently. Again, it's the same model. The first day you play a game that covers like rules and procedures to make sure they know they should be clear. So and have them work together. Always change the different positions. If there's a leader the week before, try to get a new leader this week to kind of, organize and give them a little bit more experience. Make sure they're changing their roles in the games. And then on Wednesday, you're going to discuss the importance of rules and procedures and how it's important to be clear about them and how everybody needs to be equally accountable for the rules. No one is a special exception, and make sure that you're consistent about how the rules are going. So, and then it kind of the same model goes for all these week 5, this is on temperance. Strive to maintain proper balance of emotions. Don't let them run away with you. 6 is about respect, treating all members with respect, ensuring they treat each other the same regardless of differences. 7 is empowerment. More skilled, the more confident you are. Try new things. Always be willing to learn. The more confident you are in yourself and your knowledge, the more empowered you're going to feel in the different positions that you fill, and you become more valuable as a leader. Courage would be week 8. You set it. Always work in a set direction. Don't wait for the set direction to emerge. Make your own. Just follow your own convictions to go to new places. Don't be afraid to fail. Always try. Put your ideas out there. Don't just follow the mold. 9, deep commitment. And this is the last one. Just make sure that you care about your team, every member in it, and whatever your mission is, whatever it is that you're working, and just make sure you have a good commitment to it. I feel like all those were actually very good. Like I said, I got those from the Edtopia, the seven main characteristics that are important for a leader to have. I think they're good to go over, and they can translate into many other things, but I think it's great for developing adolescents to get an idea of these skills. And then 10 is the final day challenge lesson, which it's kind of fun. I actually elaborate a little bit more on that game, because I know I didn't talk too much about the games for the other ones, but it's pretty easy. And I also, here is more the overviews. I also put some websites in here that you can go to pull up, because I thought like it'd be cool to give the teachers more of a choice of what kind of icebreaker or what kind of game they wanted, like team building exercises. So as I went through here, I actually added some links that you can go to find some of the games that would specify for each of the lesson. But the last week 10 is one that I am going to talk about, expand a little bit more on for you. So week 10 is the final challenge. So Monday is the actual final challenge activity that I'm getting ready to talk about. And then on that Wednesday, I set it aside. That would be the last day. It's kind of an award day. So as you go through, and just make sure you pick out a special characteristic about each of the people in your group. Make sure that you have something that you connected with them on, and make note of it. So on award day, you can give awards out for shows confidence in modes of pressure or anything like that, and give each kid a different award to let them know that you paid attention to them, and like this is their strength and this is what they're good at. And it's kind of cool a way to end it, and really gives them a good confidence boost in their skills. All right, so the final challenge program that I came up with was, I felt like it'd be cool to kind of set up like a type of obstacle course. So you have your different teams in your group, and they will go, and you can set it up throughout the entire school ground. So if you can, try to have like a picnic day out on the school grounds. Like we had a real big open field with like basketball courts and stuff. And so we kind of did something like this with the advisory group that I had participated in. So I thought it was cool. So each teacher-led group, you have your teams. You start them out with a riddle, and they have to, and the riddle is more of like a question or like a scenario system or a scenario that you had from your weeks previous of what they learned. And then if the kids need to answer the riddle or come up with a good answer or an explanation, and make sure a different kid answers each time. And if they get to it, and they can help each other. But if they get to the answer that satisfies you, you guys can move, and you can give them the next, like where they need to go next. And it's kind of like a scavenger hunt type thing. So like you can give them a riddle, and then they figure out the riddle about where to go next. They go to the next area, and then there's a challenge. They complete the challenge. You can have it be any kind of like something like a trust fall or anything like that to work with each other. And then you give them the question, they answer the question about the information, then they move on to the next. And you can do about, and I figured it'd be better to have like maybe 7 of these stations that they can just fluidly move through the stations as they work together, and have like a cute little picnic at the end. This is kind of a cool way to like have a final as far as like the information they learned and how they used it and working together, in a cute little game that I feel like the kids would enjoy. It's just kind of neat. So anyways, that'd be like the final challenge of the week. All right, and then lastly, I'm going to talk about the evaluation using the class resource that we have. It actually listed 10 things that are good. It listed 10 characteristics of good programs. So what I did was I listed the 10. So here's the first 5, and then how my program fits it. So for the first one, provide an environment and activities that will foster bonding within an advisor group. so that students will be accepted and valued by teacher and peers. My program provides a safe environment with activities that fosters teamwork and leadership skills and promoting cooperation among peers. So really, by having them work together and be in teams and discuss these different skills and having them going through the different activities, I think it fills a lot of these. They help students with academic concerns and set goals, which will facilitate positive experiences. Like I had said before, one of the 7 characteristics actually focuses on setting goals and planning and being successful, and I think and this also will help facilitate that. And also, this is a positive school experience because it's fun. The kids enjoy this kind of thing, so I think it fits that as well. The third one is give students avenues through which to discover their uniqueness, and how to appreciate many differences among different people. They're learning about themselves, or learning their strengths and their weaknesses, and they can appreciate other people's strengths where they might be weak. They learn to appreciate each other and themselves, and they kind of get a good learning about yourself that you might not have had before. 4 was help students develop positive relationships through experiences that utilize group dynamics. So, I mean, my program's just really set up for this because they form positive relationships with each other. They have to rely on each other to get through the different activities. It makes them work in a group, so that helps with the good group dynamics. Number 5, promote critical thinking skills through discussion and problem solvings. They have to discuss with each other. They have to have these critical thinking skills to get through the activity. They have to understand the skill that they're focusing on, and they have to work with it, and they have to make responsible choices. 6, the evaluation criteria said develop listening skills and an understanding of the roadblocks which hinder effective communication. They have to understand how to listen to each other as well as speak. They have to take other people's ideas into view. The build self-esteem in students. I think that being successful in this program is going to be great for their self-esteem. They're really going to lift themselves up. They're really going to understand where their strengths are. It's set up for them to be successful, and I think that's the most important part. 8, they'll heighten student awareness of good citizenship through providing opportunities for meaningful contributions to their school and community. I think what this is, by getting these skills, by understanding these concepts, what they are doing is making themselves better students, and in turn it will make them better citizens. Making better leaders creates better citizens, which will help the citizenship. They can understand, and on your discussions, you can talk about how this will translate into their lives. You can also talk about how it translates into their communities and things that they can do to just make their community better and their school. 9 and 10 says provide opportunities for extensive student involvement through shared decision making and improve homeschool communication and relationships. By working in the groups, you're providing opportunities for them to be shared decision making by talking to each other, by becoming leaders with one another. They improve their homeschool their communication and relationships with you, because you're there facilitating the whole thing with each other, because they're having to rely on each other so much. They're discussing with each other. They get a new respect. It really creates a good bond, which is something that I really wanted to get across this program. And here are my works cited of the 3 sites that I did use, and that is my program.